Hello and welcome to another great webinar from the Accountants Mastermind. My name is Mark and today I'm joined by Samuel George. Samuel is here to introduce you to TaxDome and how to revolutionise your firm. Say hello, Samuel.
Hi there.
And I'm ready, so let's get started. Welcome, Samuel, and over to you, virtual round of applause.
Thank you very much, Mark. I'm just going to start by sharing my screen. And we're going to start quickly with just a short presentation on TaxDome, and then we'll go into a deeper software review. So firstly, thank you everyone for joining today and welcome to our introduction to TaxDome. This is going to be a short presentation just to highlight the features that we have. And then in the software demonstration, we can really look into how these features are applied on the software. So what is TaxDome? We're going to go through a short overview. It's a cloud-based practice management platform, so you can access the software from anywhere at any time. As we saw on the first page there, we also have a mobile app, so your clients can also log in on the go and complete their documents or upload anything they need to. With TaxDome, we have a very heavy focus on workflow automation. We're going to come back to this later on in the demonstration, but we're going to show you how you can fully automate the services that you would normally offer at your firm. We also have automations for reminders and onboardings. We'll also take a look at that in the demonstration. And TaxDome is a centralized platform where you can really keep all of your documents, invoices, contracts, and more. Being a centralized all-in-one software, it saves you a lot of time in navigating around, finding the necessary bits of information. But let's take a look at the features overall that TaxDome offers. Of course, being a practice management platform, workflow automation is really important in having an overview of your ongoing tasks and services. We also have a really user-friendly client portal where your automations from the workflow are going to be sent to, and your clients can then log in either on their desktop or their mobile device and complete contracts, complete organizers, which are essentially digital e-forms there to request important documents and information. I understand the terminology on other softwares would be forms. So this is TaxDome's equivalent, essentially. Now, with an all-in-one integrated CRM, you're able to keep all of your clients' documents. We have unlimited storage at TaxDome, and you're also able to streamline your communication with clients. On TaxDome, you're able to sync your email address with the software so that if you're communicating with them on Outlook or Gmail, for example, these emails can be pulled into the CRM so you can access everything you need to in one convenient location. And then, of course, we have some really useful features with regards to team management, so time tracking and then task assignment. But let's just take a quick look at the workflow automation and how this works and how it's laid out on TaxDome. So we have 6 stages here. Imagine these as 6 columns, and each column or stage is essentially a step in the process. And at each stage, we can associate different automations. Automations could include sending emails, sending a letter of engagement, sending an invoice, and we can see the structure of an example here. So we're going to look at this in a lot more depth later on, but the real important thing to remember is that our workflows are fully customizable to your firm's needs and services. So let's take a quick look at some of the pain points that TaxDome can really help you with. So referring back to the automation process. Now, obviously with MTD coming up, you really want a software that's going to help streamline your processes, automate a lot of that document request tasks. So with TaxDome, when you set up your service, your automation pipeline, you're able to automatically add clients to this pipeline on a weekly basis, on a bi-weekly basis, or a quarterly basis. So when it comes to ITSA MTD, you'll be able to automatically add your clients to the workflow, automatically request their information and have them sign contracts, all before the task is automatically created for you to then prepare that return. So a great time saver for your firm. Coming back to the centralized platform aspect too, as we have many different features which cover team management, time management, workflow automation, we find that a lot of accounting firms may have different softwares for this. For example, Adobe for e-signing, another software for workflow management, for example. Keeping it all in one place is going to save you time in going to different tabs and softwares. We have a custom branded client portal, which is going to give your clients a much better user experience. Of course, TaxDome is going to be the software primarily for you in automating your services, but it's important to see what it looks like and how it will appear on your client's end. So we'll take a look at that later too. And also we do have improvements within team management. So you can automatically assign tasks to different members of your team and obviously start time tracks for different bits of information or tasks. So let's go to the support at TaxDome. When you come to onboard with us, what channels for support are going to be available to you? Well, at TaxDome, both on your free trial and when you start your subscription with us, the support is free and unlimited. So we're going to be there to help you every step of the way. Here are some of our support channels that we do offer. So we have an onboarding where we'll jump into a one-on-one screen sharing session, and we can help you import your clients, set up your workflows, or answer any questions about particular features. We have product webinars that can help boost your product knowledge and understanding perhaps how to create your own workflows. We have a help center not only for you, but also for your clients. And in this help center with the articles, you'll have useful videos and descriptions as to how that feature will work and how you can send that to your client. We also have the TaxDome Academy, which is essentially a course that you and your team members can take, and it will walk you through step by step how to use the different sections on TaxDome. We also have YouTube tutorials and TaxDome services where our support team can help you import your clients or documents. So without further ado, let's jump into the software and take a closer look. Okay, Mark, are you just able to clarify if you can see the calendar?
Yep, sure can.
Okay, brilliant. So I'm looking at TaxDome here from the firm owner's perspective. We do have the client portal, and it's worth bearing in mind that when your team members log into TaxDome, they're going to be somewhat restricted. The reason for that being is that you as the firm owner can give them access rights to the different parts of their TaxDome platform. So throughout this demo, looking at it from the firm owner's perspective, we're going to see all the information regarding to my accounting practice. So this is the page, the TaxDome calendar page. If we head over to the left-hand side, we can see our navigation bar where we can access the different sections of our TaxDome account. We have a global search where we can search for client accounts, documents, or contacts within these accounts. We also have a plus new button where you can trigger any of these actions. This is perhaps for any time-pressing issues that you want to process quickly. Let's go ahead and start a time entry, which we can record throughout this demo. So I selected time entry. I'm going to select the account that I'd like to correspond that time entry to. I can add these time entries either retrospectively or I can start one now. I'm going to create a tag for self-assessment return, which will help me to find this time entry later down the line. And I'm going to start this now. If you look in the top right-hand corner, you can see the timer has started. By simply clicking it, I can either pause this, finish this, or delete it. I'm going to leave it running for now, and we're going to hop back to our calendar page. So again, TaxDome is a great way to really have an overview of your ongoing services and tasks. Now we have many different dashboards where you can access this information and filter it to see perhaps what tasks specifically are assigned to team members. You can see tasks relating to a particular service, but the calendar may be really useful when looking at upcoming deadlines. We can filter this for the day if you want to see what tasks are currently outstanding. Or you can filter this for a particular task type. I can do that by selecting task. I'm going to go over to filter. This will be a common feature of many TaxDome pages. And I'm going to select the task tag for VAT. And I'm going to hit apply. And again, we're going to see all those tasks relating to VAT. So before I add this filter, it's going to show me all of the services and tasks that are currently ongoing at my firm. With that example with the VAT task, you can really quickly access the information that you need. So one thing I love about TaxDome personally is that it's really interactive and it's a great platform to look at. It's got a great aesthetic to it. Regarding the interactiveness of the platform, if I want to make any changes to perhaps services or tasks, I can do that by simply clicking on the task here. When I click on the task, it's going to bring out this box from the right-hand side. And if I want to make any adjustments or changes, I can simply do that by clicking on the relevant section. I could perhaps change this task and label it as completed. I might want to adjust the due date, which I can do by simply clicking here. Or I may actually want to communicate with a team member. Maybe there's an outstanding task that I would like to assign to them. By simply using the @ symbol, I could then tag another team member of mine. Now, where would this notification come through? That draws us to the next section, the Inbox Plus. Now, the Inbox Plus is where you're going to be receiving all the notifications about your client's actions. These notifications could include contracts, it could include new emails, it could include uploaded documents. We can just take a look at some examples here. So we have this mention, and it's going to let me know the mention and what's required of me. I could then go straight to this task by clicking the button here. I think it's worth noting that on TaxDome, we try and make it as easy as possible to get to the information that you want to see. So anything on TaxDome that you see that's written in blue is interactive and it can be clicked on, taking you directly to what you need to see. By scrolling down the list, I can also see notifications for emails. And it's worth noting that from here, I can even create a task and assign it to a team member. We also have the option to hide relevant notifications with the archive button. And as team management and task management is really important, you'll also receive notifications regarding outstanding tasks or tasks that have due dates coming up. Now, after the Inbox Plus, I just want to cover quickly the home page. Now, the home page is a great way to get an overview of your current ongoing tasks and to see statistics related to your revenue and team members. I'm not going to focus too long on this page because I'm going to quickly refer to our roadmap, and our homepage is going to be updated towards the end of this year, towards the start of next year, and we're going to see this, the Firm Insights page. So this is going to have customizable widgets that you can drag onto the platform. You can adjust them to look at a particular service that you're offering, or you can adjust the widget to perhaps look at a particular team member. So we're really excited for this feature coming to the platform, and it's going to look great. Also on this page, I think it's worth noting our roadmap for SMS integrations and our proposal platform. We've already completed the Document Global section, and if I hop back to the TaxDome page, we can see that here. It's worth noting now that we can also access our documents, or our clients' documents, I should say, from the CRM, which I'm going to go to now. So when I click on clients, we're going to see everyone who's currently uploaded onto the platform, every client at my firm. From here, I can see pending contracts, pending messages, and organizers. And you may notice that I've assigned tags to all of my clients. Now, the tags are really important because they really help me when applying bulk actions. So let's go through a quick example now of how these would be carried out. So let's say that I want to send an email to all my self-assessment clients. I can simply hit filter, and I'm going to go down to tag. I'm going to select my self-assessment clients and hit apply. Please bear in mind that you can also add multiple filters. I could also search for my self-assessment return clients who have unread messages. I could also save these as templates. Say I have a really useful filter that I'd like to use on a regular basis. I could then save more time by simply applying this filter that's been pre-made. But I'm just going to hit apply for now, and we're going to see all of my self-assessment return clients. If I hover over the +1, you should then see the other tags. And now when applying bulk actions, I could just select 1 or 2 accounts, or I could select them all by checking this box at the top. You'll notice that as soon as I check this box, the bulk actions appear above. If I just hit more actions, you begin to get an idea for the bulk actions that can really be applied on TaxDome. So as a firm owner, it's a very great way. I should say the platform has great functions for assigning tasks, starting new jobs, and adding accounts to the workflows that you have on your platform. But in this example, I wanted to send an email to my self-assessment return clients. You can see the send email option here. I'm then going to select a random template. You may notice that we have shortcodes which can be used for personalization in your emails. And let's say perhaps I'd like to send this email at the end of next week. If I scroll down, we also have the option to schedule our emails by simply selecting a date or time that's going to be processed for us. Let me just hop back to the page, and right now we're going to take a deeper dive into our client CRM.
Sorry, just before you go, we've just had a couple of questions from Carly. She's asked, do all emails come into the system, or is it just client emails?
So we can come to that in a section. When we dive deep into the CRM, there's going to be different subsections for each part of your client. So you're going to have a section for invoices, a section for contracts. With regards to the emails, you're going to be syncing your email address with the platform. So what that means is that all communication that's been had with your clients through Gmail or Outlook, that's going to be pulled into the software. You'll be able to see both your received emails and your sent emails to the client. You can also send emails from TaxDome and respond in the threads, but we'll take a closer look at that when we dive deeper into the CRM.
Perfect. And are you covering off where she's asked also, are you able to send emails from a central email address? So, for example, if it was a newsletter, you wouldn't want it to come from a person. Perhaps it was a hello at or a do not reply at.
Exactly. So for every subscription that you have with TaxDome, you're able to essentially sync a new email address. So you'll notice that I have a from field here.
Yeah.
As it's my demonstration account, I believe I only have one email linked. But from this list, if you were to have multiple team members added to TaxDome, then you could select the other address and then have it sent from that.
Perfect. Thank you. If it doesn't answer your question, Carly, let us know. Thank you. I'll leave you to it.
No problem at all. So as I was saying, we're just going to take a deeper dive into the CRM feature now. I'm going to click on John's name, and that's going to take me to his overview page. Again, we're going to take a look at some of these subheadings at the top here, but I want to quickly scroll down as this is a really useful page, to give you an insight as to where this client currently is. So we can see his received emails, we can see any pending messages, all the signatures that have been sent to the client, approvals, which is another feature on TaxDome. But let's scroll to the top for now. Briefly, I want to come back to TaxDome and perhaps the interactiveness part of it. So let's say that I'd like to adjust a task. Again, that can simply be done by hovering over any of the statuses and then making that change. Let's now jump to the info section, which is where we're going to see the contacts within the account. And now I just want to take a brief moment to just clarify the difference between an account and a contact, because that may be important moving forward. So an account is the entity that we're actually working for, the entity we're going to be billing, and a contact is essentially the person within that account, the person within that entity. So on the info page, we're looking at the account for John's Bakery, for which John Harper is a contact. I can see all of these custom fields that I've created relating to their national insurance number, their personal UTR number, and I can see the contact details relating to John by simply clicking on his name. I could add multiple contacts by simply linking them here, and I can also assign different team members to this particular account. So moving on, We're on the info tab, but I'm going to jump to the documents section. And before I start, it's worth noting that we do have unlimited storage at TaxDome. So you'll be able to import all of your clients' documents and have them stored here conveniently too. So on the documents page, one thing I would like to highlight again is these preferences for the folders. We have 3. You have an option to share files with your clients so that they can view and edit them. You can also upload them to a file where your clients can only view them. And then you also have the option to upload files into a private folder, which is kept from them, which they're not going to be able to view on their client portal. At the top, you have the option to apply a folder template, a pre-made structure of templates from your firm. And inside these folders, you can also include documents that might be important for the services you're providing later. So I think it's worth just quickly touching on these subheadings here. We have approvals, signatures, file requests. This is primarily for people or clients you may have who may not want portal access, but you still might need to request documents from them. What you can do, I can just go through an example of this. If I go to this folder here, and let's say I want to request files in the 2022 tab. By clicking on these 3 dots, I can go to request files and I can send them an email request with a link, which is going to say, "Hi, John, please upload your file into this 2022 folder." And then when he clicks on that link and uploads the document, it's going to come through straight to here. So I'm going to quickly talk about the messages next. And you may be asking, well, what's the difference between a message and an email? Well, in the email, you're able to use HTML. You're able to include images to really personalize that communication with your clients. But with the messages, the main key feature here and benefit of this feature is the client tasks, which we can see at the bottom here. Now, these messages can be pre-made from templates, and they're really useful if you really want to clearly outline tasks for your client. We'll take a look at what these messages look like on the client portal later on, but it's a great time saver for your firm. You could then specifically look at the client tasks you've given to them, and it's a great way to follow up on your clients and where they currently are in the process. Let's hop now to the email feature quickly, just to clarify that question from before. So when you sync your address with TaxDome, you'll be able to see all the incoming emails and all the emails that you've sent from TaxDome. And again, if we go back to the inbox, just let this page load so you can see how the sent emails are structured. I think I have a lot, and that's why it's taking a little bit of a while. But if I go back to the inbox, we can see that we also have this search feature, again, really making it easy to get the information we need moving forward. And the last page I want to focus on in this CRM is the last one, the workflow tab. And the reason why I want to show this is because as a practice management platform, you want software that's going to give you a really clear insight as to where your clients currently are and what the requirements are for having them complete that service or process. So by going to the workflow tab, we get a quick insight into how the workflows are displayed on TaxDome. But again, I can scroll down and see what services my client is at and at what stage in that process they are at. So a really convenient and easy way to follow up on your clients and really manage your ongoing tasks and services. Now, with relation to task management and service management, that would be really where we come to the workflow page on the navigation bar. So let's hop over to this section here. Now, on our workflow page, we're going to see 3 different tabs. We have the pipelines tab, which is essentially a list of all the automations that you have. We have the jobs tab, and a job correlates to a specific account within that pipeline or workflow. So for example, we were looking at the CRM for John's Bakery. The job would be John's Bakery in a self-assessment return, for example. And a task is a task within that process. So in the self-assessment return service you're offering, you may have tasks for reviewing documents, preparing the return, reviewing the return. So that's just a bit of insight into the terminology of these 3 tabs. But I'm going to start on the pipeline page, and you may have already noticed that we have a schedule feature. That means that you can automatically add your clients to your TaxDome workflows and essentially remove another manual step. So as we can see, the self-assessment return workflow I have here, I've set it up on a quarterly basis. So let's take a look at my setup more closely. So we're on the Kanban board page now, and it gives us a really clear insight as to how our workflow has been processed. So the layout has been shown in the stages. So each stage is shown by these grey boxes, and in each grey box, you can associate different automations. So let's take a look at the first stage and what automations we're going to apply. So when I add an account, they're going to be sent an organizer, which is essentially a digital form requesting important documents and information. They're going to receive an email letting them know that we've sent them the organizer and the contract. We're going to send them a letter of engagement, and we're going to add a wiki page. Now, a wiki page is essentially your standard operating procedure on a page format with videos, with bullet points. So if you have any apprentices or outsourced staff, this is a great way to keep them updated as to how you would normally carry out this process. So let's go ahead and add an account to the workflow. Now, this can be done as a bulk action on the CRM page. This can also be done from the plus new button, but in the interest of time, I'm just going to add one from the add job button here. So I'm going to select an account. I have a pre-made template for Q3, and that's going to populate the job assignee. So this is essentially the team member who's going to be managing the process as a whole. It's also got the due date populated, and we've also got the wiki page in this job template that I've created. So I'm going to add the job, and it's going to prompt me and say, these are the automations that are going to be triggered. As I already have the wiki page in my template, I can remove it here. And when I hit move, we're going to see John's Bakery added to the workflow on the first stage. Now, we talked about the mobile application. If I just quickly refer to my phone here, I'm not sure how clear it's going to be, but we can see the 2 push notifications from TaxDome letting the client know that they have an outstanding organizer and contract. So these are really useful when kind of nudging your clients, letting them know when they have outstanding bits of work to do. Okay, let's take a look at how these came through on the client portal. So let's first take a look at the email tab. So we've received the first email from the firm. Hi, John, we're about to get started on your self-assessment return. Please complete the organizer and sign your engagement letter. Let's now go to the client portal, and this is what they're going to see when they log in. Now, bear in mind, until I refresh the page, we're not going to see that organizer and contract. But now it's a really clear overview for your clients. As soon as they log in, they have the required outstanding tasks under the to-do list here. They can access their documents, they can upload documents and let you know by clicking this button here. That's going to send you a notification on your inbox plus. You can start a chat with the firm if you have any questions about uploading, or they can even book an appointment with you if they want to discuss their tax stance further. But let's go ahead and refresh the page and see those 2 automations come in for the contract and the organizer. So the organizer, as we mentioned, was that digital form to request important documents and information. In these templates that you create, you can use text fields, you can use date fields, number fields, check boxes, yes or no questions, and options to upload documents. So let's go ahead and just see what that process would be like for one of your clients. Let's go and add an income document and select my computer. Now, even though I'm selecting one document at this stage, I could upload multiple. Let's just wait for that to upload and hit save. And in the interest of time, I'm not going to scroll through and answer every single section. I'm just going to save and submit. Let's hit send. And if you may have remembered, we have one more outstanding automation in that first step, which is signing the contract, the letter of engagement. So by simply clicking on that notification, I'm taken to the contract. You can also itemize the services that you're offering at the bottom here, but I'm going to quickly type in the name of my client and hit sign. Let's save this. And now when we go back to the client portal, we're going to see something very interesting. So we're back on the firm's page, and one feature that I haven't talked about yet is our auto move, which is kind of comes in tandem with our workflow platform too. Now, what the auto move feature does is it essentially recognizes client activity on their end. Once the client has completed their outstanding tasks, it automatically moves the job into the next stage where the next two automations will be applied. So in this next stage, we have a task for reviewing the uploaded documents, and we also have an email sent. So let's refresh the page and see that job move to the next stage. And here we have it, John's Bakery. So now if I go back to, hi Mark, did you have a question?
Sorry, yes. Carly just asked another few questions. Does the new job come up automatically each month or quarter, no matter what, or is it only if the prior period is complete?
So it's no matter what when you add your clients on the recurring schedule. When they do get to the end of the workflow, it's your requirement to then archive that account. So let me just move this job card to the last stage. And let's say, for example, for this client, I'd filed their return. In order to essentially close that client account in the workflow, I just need to check the box to select that client and then archive the account. And now when we were on the CRM earlier, we were on the workflow page and we could see the different Kanban boards for each process that client was in. At the top, there's a sub-tab for completed workflows, and there you'd be able to access all the information from that particular flow, the completed organizer, the contract, for example. But again, the recurrence is going to be when these accounts are added back to the workflow.
Okay. Can you add PDFs and Excels to the wiki page, or is it just websites? I think you did add a PDF, didn't you, to the documents?
Absolutely. If you wanted to link a PDF document about your standard operating procedures, you can absolutely do that. So with relation to accessing information relating to a particular job, you can simply click on the job card here, and it's going to bring out this panel on the right-hand side. Here, you can access all the information currently relating to that job. So we could see the signed contract. We could then take a look at that pending organizer or the tasks. At the top, there's a button here, which is plus link. So we could then link other documents, other PDF files. We could link payments, the time entry that I've just created. So it's a great way to keep everything in one place.
Right. And the last one is just to confirm, does the system generate LOEs depending on services the client signs up for?
So as the workflow is basically structured on a template basis, it really comes back to that customizable aspect of it. You're able to create a process that will essentially trigger other automations depending on what your client has completed. We're unable to trigger it based on the services that have been selected, but that's something that we could definitely look into in the future. It may be worth quickly just focusing on our feature request board, where clients and users of TaxDome can comment and suggest feature updates that they would like to see in later updates of the platform. Looking at a couple of entries here, we can see that a couple are planned and some are under review and in progress. So we'd love to take your feedback on board when learning how to really make TaxDome applicable for everyone.
Brilliant. Thank you.
No problem at all. So going back to the demonstration, the job, John's Bakery, is currently in the second stage, reviewing files. We've received all their information in the organizer, we have the signed contract, and automatically we have a new task made for reviewing the documents. So let's say, for example, that the client has uploaded the wrong document, they've missed an upload. Let's see as to how he would really maintain the structure of the workflow, but then request that missing information. Now I'm just keeping an eye on the time. So we have around 10 minutes left for the demonstration. So I'll try and go through the workflow in as much detail as I can. So to take a look at what files have been uploaded, I can simply just click here. It's going to take me through to that completed organizer. And then you'll notice we have these three dots here in the top corner. Now, if I go here and I click unsubmit, I'm going to be able to add a reference note for my client and say, thank you for uploading the organizer. However, we still require documents X, Y, and Z. So if I write, please upload your P60, and I hit unsubmit. Before we jump to the client portal and see how that comes through, I also want to show you another alternative for requesting documents on TaxDome, because again, it's very feature heavy for the reason that we want to give you the option to choose how you'd like to structure your services and how you'd like to communicate with your clients. So let's go to the plus new, and I'm going to select chat, which is our message. Just let this save for a minute. I think because I've got my Zoom open and multiple other pages. Let me just refresh that for a second. So we've sent the organizer back to their client portal, and we're going to see another example of a chat. And now a chat, remember, has these client tasks at the bottom. So we can then request our client to upload specific documents and then kind of isolate and select those documents in those client tasks. Let me just try and refresh the page one more time. Maybe it's just the client page, which is taking a lot. Let me close this down. We can go back to our portal here. So again, the plus new is where we can send out a quick message or automation. Let's go to the chat. And then we can select the client account we'd like to send the chat to. We can just select the template for missing documents. And again, it's going to populate this message field with the documents needed. And then we have these client tasks, which they can check off below. Now, I talked at the start of this demonstration about automated reminders. I could simply check this box and add essentially a number of reminders and an inactivity frequency between them. So I can select how many I'd like to send, and it will be essentially an email sent through to their provider saying you have an outstanding message, please consult this. And I can also choose the days between the reminders. So let's go ahead and send this chat and take a look at the client portal. So we're gonna, let's keep editing, cancel this. Let's hop to the client portal and refresh the page to see that unsubmitted organizer and that message requesting the new documents. So we have the organizer here, and we have a message to upload the P60. I can do that now by simply clicking on the task, and again, going to the relevant box and uploading it here. Very easy for your clients. Or on the home page, I could go to the message and then simply check off these client notifications. And now if I go back to the firm side, if I go to the inbox plus, now we've checked off these client tasks, we should be able to see at the top these client task notifications, which I can just click on here, and we can see that these documents have been uploaded. Had I taken the time to actually upload these documents to the message, which you can do, they would just appear on the right-hand side as they have done below. So a great way to really have an overview of all the services at your firm. And I think that really concludes the demonstration. I understand we're coming towards the end. So I'm happy to answer any questions relating to the platform, the features, the workflow in particular.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for that, Samuel. It's been a really useful insight into the software. I think it's been beneficial. We've had some really good questions. Some of the questions that were asked previously, just stop the screen share there. There we go. It's it's always a difficult one about asking about other people's software. Somebody has obviously asked if it is a direct replacement for their own software. I guess the answer to that simply is yes, but what's your view on that?
Yeah, it is a really good question. It really depends on what you're using your current practice management platform for. Obviously, we have a lot of features relating to, team management. The CRM is very in-depth with regards to storing your documents, your invoices and contracts. I've gone into very brief overview of our workflow feature, but we go into much more depth with regards to conditional logic at particular steps. And I really want to get across the fully customizable aspect of this workflow feature. So we give you the tools to really manage the processes in a way in which you'd like. and we're here to support you in helping you to set those up. So it's hopefully I've been able to demonstrate in this webinar, the features and the really important dashboards on TaxDome, but I really recommend getting involved yourself and just try creating your own workflow, uploading your clients and having a play around, because that's the best way to see if it's going to meet your needs too.
Brilliant. Carly has just asked, and there was a question prior about other software that it links with. A couple of them are Xero, Inform Direct, Companies House, and TaxCalc. Do you have any integrations with any of those?
So I can comment on this from a perspective of TaxDome's current stance, where we're currently just starting to expand within the UK, and on our roadmap we have integrations with Xero, integrations with Companies House and HMRC. We're also looking into providers for AML checking too. So when you go into your CRM, we're going to have another tab at the top for AML reviews, ID reviews, and KYC checks. So in the next year, we're going to have a lot more UK localized features. But in the meantime, really where you're going to save most time is with that workflow automation, and being able to fully customize those for your firm are going to be real time savers. But currently we only integrate with QuickBooks. You can integrate with your invoices. We integrate with schedulers too, Stripe, CPA Pay. That works with your invoicing onto TaxDome as well.
Brilliant. Okay. So, and just to cover back, so somebody did ask about AML. A couple of people asked about AML, but just to cover back slightly. So to confirm to anyone that's not listening, just in case. So you're not a new piece of software. You're just new to the UK. That's right, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. So we attended the Accountants Manchester in the middle of October, and we had a great response from accountants. I think many people weren't familiar with us before, but we're a US-based firm, so we've been in the market since 2017, and we just continually try and update our features to accommodate the local region, and the UK is a particular focus for us now.
Brilliant, thank you. Andy's just asked, can you disable sections, e.g. invoicing, if we use external provider? We wouldn't want this showing in the client portal.
Absolutely. So with regards to hiding particular sections, invoicing you are able to hide, because we understand that you may have other softwares where you would prefer to send your invoices from. By going to the settings page and going to the integrations tab, you have the option to hide that invoicing section from your clients. So on the client portal, that navigation bar on the left-hand side, the invoices won't appear there.
Brilliant, brilliant. And is the diary feature, Vivian's asked, is the diary feature accessible remotely?
So TaxDome is fully on the cloud, so you're able to access this from anywhere at any time. Obviously, we have the mobile application for your clients too, but if you want to work remotely on TaxDome, that's not going to be an issue as long as you have your desktop available and an internet connection.
So the app, is that just for the customers?
Exactly.
To upload and get detail. Brilliant.
Exactly.
Okay. So Rayanne's just asked about integrating with Xero, which I think you've just answered, but QuickBooks at the moment, but Xero is on the roadmap. That's
exactly.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you. And obviously Kieran has asked about, is it the software adapted to the UK practices, which is what I think I just asked, and you've covered off. There's an interesting one from Sue. And I'm not quite sure how you can answer it, but it's, will this solve my anxiety about missing deadlines?
Well, obviously that's one of the expectations from a practice management platform. I will say that in this demonstration, I've only had 45 minutes to really focus on what, in my opinion, are the most important dashboards and pages for you. There are so many different dashboards where you can access and apply filters for different services, jobs, different dashboards where you can view different team members, assign tasks. So I think it's a great way to manage your ongoing services and tasks. It would encourage you to just start a 14-day free trial, which we can offer. And then in that 14-day free trial, you're able to really experiment with the platform, generate some tasks yourself, look at the different dashboards that we have available, and really become more comfortable in managing those tasks. But absolutely, you'll be able to manage your deadlines, your tasks, your services. With the automation, you're going to save a lot of time in doing that as well.
Excellent. And with that in mind, I think Michelle's got the link to sign up. So what do you want people to do after this demonstration? What's the best thing they can do?
Well, if you have some spare time, I really encourage you to start a 14-day free trial, which we have. As I mentioned at the beginning, the support is free and unlimited at TaxDome for both trial users and subscribers. So when you start that 14-day free trial, you'll be able to book an onboarding with myself where we can walk you through the platform, answer any questions about features you might be having difficulties with, for example. We also have a link for signing up for a trial. If you sign up with this link, you get an additional 2 months added to your subscription. So I believe you should have that link on the demonstration so you can copy it and then save it in your browser for later. But again, I just really want to get across that the free and unlimited support is always there available.
Brilliant. And Carl, I'm assuming, Carly's very interested in having a conversation, I would imagine, because she's very interested in this. And she's asked if you can re-explain the difference between messages and emails. Do messages go to the client via the app?
Really good question. So again, we have multiple ways of communicating with your clients, again, to give you the option to choose which suits you best. An email essentially gives you the option to include your logo, any images, HTML text, so you can create a professional communication channel with your clients. However, with the chat and messenger feature, that's going to be sent directly to their client portal, whereas obviously the email will be sent to their provider if it's Gmail, Outlook, for example. But with the messenger, you're going to have those client tasks, which will then appear on the Inbox Plus. So a great way to really have an overview and to kind of point your clients in the right direction and then follow up with them by looking at those notifications come through.
Brilliant. And she also asked, are the fees on a per user basis?
So the price of TaxDome is £40 per user per month, and there's no hidden fees with that. So you get the fully automated customizable workflow platform, unlimited clients, unlimited document storage too.
Excellent. And I think, so the other question I have here at the moment outstanding is, prior to this, Jim had asked about the process management, which I think you've pretty much covered off in the demonstration.
Absolutely.
You wanted to add? Sorry.
And now I think this almost ties back in with the task and deadline management question. There are so many different dashboards to have an overview of your different processes. We looked at the CRM dashboard with the workflow page, where you can see all of the services that they're currently in and at what stage they are at. We looked at the calendar feature, where you have an overview of your services and tasks. Again, very interactive, so you can make the necessary changes by just clicking on the relevant field. You have your workflow tabs at the top with your pipelines, jobs and tasks. Again, I would encourage you just to start your free trial, have a look and explore the platform to see how it can really meet your needs.
Just so, and I may have missed it, or you may have already covered it, so apologies if you haven't. And is there an overview that a manager or the practice owner can see individuals as well as customers? So where a particular individual is, to sort of ensure they're helping their team as best they can get through the work?
Really good point. So a couple of times in the demonstration, I used a filter button at the top to really isolate important bits of information. When you're looking at the Kanban board or the different dashboards for your task or service management, you could then filter for your different team members. You could filter for different accounts. You could filter for services that are currently coming up to a due date. So you really have no limits when identifying the information that you need to see.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. And so that is all the questions we have. So unless anybody's got anything else, we'll just make sure there's enough time. But I just want to say thank you very much for giving us the demo. Really interesting to see some different processes being able to be put into the practice management software. So thank you for coming along. And yes, if anybody else is interested, Michelle has put the link in the chat box. So it leaves me to say thank you very much, and we look forward to speaking to you soon.
Thank you for your time.
Cheers. Thank you. Thank you for watching our webinar with Samuel George from TaxDome. It was great to hear from Samuel about how the TaxDome software is moving from the US into the UK market to help UK accountants and bookkeepers keep tabs on where all their documentation is, where their customers are, and also where their team members are at with their jobs. If you'd like any further information, please click on the link that's in the description below, or alternative, if you've got any further questions, please post them in the comments, and also like and subscribe to our channel for more software webinars and also interviews with leaders within the accountancy industry. Below somewhere on the screen now, you should be seeing some videos that we recommend that you watch next in order to inspire, challenge and support you to be the best practice you want to be.